in Southern California. We're going to shift gears now and get right over to the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca once again. How's it going, Dan?
Well, yeah, things are going great here on the Central Coast, and we've had nice weather, unlike what they're dealing with down in Southern California. And just want to kind of alleviate anyone's fears. We don't really have any of that fire danger here because we've had rain so far this winter, and that's kept our fire danger low, even when we have had periodic bouts of wind, and we'll have some more in the forecast as well. But we're just not seeing the same conditions that they are down there. So as we take a look at what we're tracking in the Weather Center tonight, a couple different things. We have some dynamic temperatures, and what I mean by that is big changes between our morning lows and our afternoon highs. And we'll be tracking some more offshore winds and potentially our next chance of rain as well. But we'll start off tonight with a live look from Domenico's on the Wharf. Temperatures are cool as we head into the late evening hours. Skies are clear out there tonight. We haven't seen much in the way of cloud cover, and the winds have thankfully kind of died off. We had some wind yesterday over the mountains, and even this morning there were still wind gusts to 50 plus miles per hour at the Ormsby Cutoff in the Santa Cruz Mountains north of Watsonville, south of Loma Prieta. So even after midnight last night, we still had some gusty winds, and actually the wind has picked back up on Loma Prieta. We're seeing 23 mile per hour wind gusts at this hour, and I was looking at our Toro cam a little while ago, and it was moving around quite a bit, so I would assume that there's some wind up on Mount Toro as well. So at least up in the higher elevations, we're dealing with some wind, but down low, not so much. In fact, our valley inversions have set in and temperatures are dropping under the clear skies and dry air mass in place. We're already at 39 degrees at Piscinas, just south of Hollister, and Parkfield down to 33 degrees at this hour. So definitely feeling the chill in our inland valleys, and even around the coast, Salinas dipping to 42. Can't wait to run out to my car tonight. That sounds wonderful. So we look at our cloud visibility tracker. Skies are mostly clear. There's some low cloud cover offshore, but winds are going to be light offshore overnight, so we won't see any low clouds arriving. It's going to be clear through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. And here's our temperature tracker overnight. It is showing us in the low 40s, but I actually think many coastal cities might dip into the upper 30s overnight, so maybe just pull that down a little bit on the coast. Sunrise tomorrow, 7:20. We'll start the day under full sunshine, maybe just a few thin wisps of high cloud cover, but that's about it. High pressure still in control across the west coast, and then the culprit for the wind, this area of low pressure, which is sitting down over the Sea of Cortez, also known as the Gulf of California right now, and really just funneling the wind across Southern California. It will still be there tomorrow, then kind of slowly move out. But unfortunately, another similar system might take its place. Right now, I'm not seeing the same wind speeds associated with it, but as we look at our ridge of high pressure tomorrow into Friday, we see another little system comes in, and then it starts to move into the Great Basin, and we'll watch a low kind of develop down into Southern California as we head into the weekend and cut off. And that could bring some more wind to Southern California. So we're watching that. Also could bring some wind for our neck of the woods as well. So some things we're keeping an eye on. But the other point I want to make here is the ridge is still here through midweek next week. It does kind of weaken a little bit, but it's still there to the end of next week. It's still there next weekend. It's probably still going to be there midweek next week. We see the clock keep ticking here. It is January, the wettest month of the year on average for our Central Coast cities. And outside of the rain we got last week, we may not see much for the next 2 weeks, if any. So very dry look at the month. Sky staying clear tomorrow, as I mentioned. We will have a little bit of wind. Let's talk about that. Our future track winds showing by lunchtime tomorrow. Still seeing some wind over the highest elevations of the Santa Cruz Mountains and a little bit of an offshore push around the peninsula. So light offshore winds early in the day will bring that warmer air right back toward the coast again. I actually just recently raised our high temperatures across the region for most locations, which I'll show you in a moment. But I do expect some wind over the hills tomorrow, but not much in the lower elevations. We'll have offshore breezes, but wouldn't call it windy. Up in the mountains, you might still call it windy, but nothing extreme. We're talking 20 to 30 miles per hour. Take a look at these temperatures. I did raise them a bit. I lowered our lows and raised our highs tomorrow. Take a look at this. 72 in Scotts Valley tomorrow. Ben Lomond at 71. Boulder Creek at 71. You drop down to 33 overnight. Santa Cruz at 70. 69 in Capitola. On the east shore of the bay, we're going to drop into the upper 30s. Right, and then back to 70 in Watsonville and Castroville. Salinas to 72 tomorrow. 35 overnight in San Juan Bautista, back to 72. Gilroy up to 73 tomorrow afternoon. Even the Monterey Peninsula will squeeze in a 70 in Carmel. Lows in the low to mid 40s. Monterey at 48, or 68, I should say, for a high tomorrow. And all 70s almost down south. We start off the day cold, though. 26 in the San Antonio Valley, 27 in Bradley, 28 Parkfield. Highs close to 70, if not above, tomorrow afternoon. afternoon. Even King City, 31 overnight, but you're back to 72 tomorrow afternoon. Some big changes in our temperatures just by the morning to the afternoon. And we'll see similar ranges as we head through the rest of the week and into early next week. So I do have a little bit of wind on the coast Friday and Saturday, but nothing major. Temperatures will cool off, though, to slightly above normal temps instead of well above normal temps by the time we head through the weekend as a cooler air mass sneaks in from the northeast. And as we look at our inland forecast, I do have a little bit more wind, and that air mass is going to stay dry, though. So we have more cold mornings ahead, but more warm afternoons. And as I mentioned, dry, dry, dry.
Thank you, Dan.